So I just talked about doing hobbies in a previous video, and video games was not a hobby, but another thing that I had tried at one point was doing like a video game channel, and I realized I don't have the time nor the patience to do that. I used to love playing video games. In fact, when my son was born, my brother actually got me a Xbox 360, or no, Xbox One. 360 was a really long time ago. And I played Forza. I loved racing games. I still do. I think I got an airplane fighting, flying game where you fly like F-15, 16s and different fighter jets, and you do dog fights and missions and things like that. And I played a lot of that when he was like a real baby. And then it quickly kind of just got shelved. Like I kind of forgot about it, to be quite honest. And I mean, the since then I've kind of gotten back into it with playing things like Pal World, and Minecraft is something that my son's kind of getting into with the new Minecraft movie that's coming out. Or I'm sorry, that is out, but we say coming out because we're not going to go to the theaters to watch it. We're going to wait for it to come out on streaming and pay $24 to see it or whatever. So I've kind of wanted to get back into gaming, but I don't have the time. I would much rather go do something and make a video or take pictures or go driving or going outside and riding the e-bikes around, whatever it might be. That's another thing that's really great. Put the kids on the back of the e-bikes, although they're starting to learn how to ride bikes now. So I don't exactly know where that puts our e-bikes. We might just be like using them as regular bikes. But I do love like watching people play video games, which I never really understood up until I stopped being able to play the video games. And really, it's because you're watching someone play a video game who has the time to do it, but also can like edit all the like hours of just wandering around trying to figure out the video game. So I've been kind of getting back into that, which honestly is much better than maybe not better, but like more positive than some of the other stuff I've watched as of recent. Like I've been watching a lot of the Mayday stuff, like plane crash investigations and things like that. Because I'm one of those people who finds watching things like that to be not satisfying, but like knowing that there's things in place that you may not have known before, like safety regulations and how things work, makes me feel better about getting on a plane. My wife is the exact opposite, where she doesn't want to see anything like that because then she has nightmares about it. And every time she gets on a plane, she thinks of like all those examples she just saw of incidents that might have happened in like the 70s or 80s or 90s or more recent. But it's one of those things that I really like to know how things work. So I know it just gives me a sense of security. So that was way off topic, but it's one of those things where I like to play video games. And I would still like to play video games. And I have a video capture card. I still have the Xbox One, which is super out of date now. I mean, that's over 6 years old, over 7 years old at this point. I mean, there's at least one, if not two, new versions out of the Xbox. We were always PlayStation people growing up, and so when I had the opportunity to get an Xbox, I got an Xbox, but mainly for like Forza and things like that. But everything's pretty much cross-platform now. But getting Game Pass and things like that, because everything is a subscription now, obviously. So, we don't get cable anymore, but we pay probably $200 a month in different subscriptions and learning subscriptions and streaming and stuff for this, like the podcast, RSI, and things like that. But yeah, I am starting to enjoy watching video games again, or getting into video games, I guess, just following the what's new, what's hot, and that's kind of been fun. So I've figured out a way to like fit that back into my life without it being utterly consuming. So like I don't get out of work, put the kids to bed, or eat dinner, put the kids to bed, and then go play video games by myself because my wife doesn't want to do anything to do with that. So, I'll watch these other people play video games, and it's almost like playing them. You still get to experience the game, you might try to figure out as you're watching, but it's been kind of like a nice way to just get get some exposure to it again without dumping all the time into it. Because honestly, the older I get, the more I understand, and I never understood this as a kid. Even as a young adult, it took a while for me to understand that when people say time is money, yes, but money can't necessarily buy you time. Time is one of those things where it's ever so it's finite. Time is finite. You only have, 24 hours in a day. You only have, 7 days a week. You only have 365 days in a year. You only have, what, 52 weekends? And then if you multiply that by how many, it's not that much, especially with our kids getting older. I want to make sure that I have time. So time is the biggest factor in life right now. Money, money's fine. We pay our bills and do all that, but time is one of those things where it's that commodity that you just got to kind of find that balance. So like this is one of those things where I'm getting to do kind of what I want while not eating into the rest of our time. We're actually about to do a giant reorganization of the entire house, spring cleaning basically. But we've set a budget aside, and that budget is fairly large for us. We don't normally spend a lot of money on stuff, so we usually save it and then obviously spend it at Disney. But this is going to be one of those things where we've set a budget aside, and we're going to get bins. We're buying a pantry. We're rebuilding a coat closet. We're reorganizing maybe some of the basement. I think we're going to do at least get it all in bins, and then eventually we'll have shelving slowly go in to kind of make it more accessible. Because obviously, if you have stacked bins, you need something at the bottom. It's not super accessible if you don't have them in a shelf. So that's coming up real soon. We'll see how that goes. In fact, that'll start probably tomorrow. I think my wife's going to start doing that. But the whole weekend is going to be essentially painting and getting bins and organizing and cleaning and kind of retaking back the house after being trapped in it for essentially all winter since December, more or less. So that'll be interesting. But yeah, long tangent. Obviously, video games are a waste of time, but I think there's a certain amount of it's okay to waste a certain amount of time if it's something that gives you the opportunity to recharge and decompress. So, you know, we're work from home now, and not having that drive home from work where you can kind of listen to music, you can kind of just decompress from the stress of the day. That doesn't really happen anymore. I mean, we basically leave our office, which is just in our house, and then that's it. We go downstairs and we're right into the kid fray. Basically, we're making dinner, we're cleaning up, we're doing the dishes, we're doing the laundry, we're doing all that. And then the kids go to bed, and then we get to have maybe an hour or two of just like chill time and watch some TV and talk about our days before it all starts again. So yeah, time is something that's definitely needs some balancing in life for sure.